Yippee-ki-yay movie lovers, it's Jan here. Finding Dory director Andrew Stanton said there were about 30 to 40 minutes of scenes that were deleted from the movie. For example, the tank gang was originally going to appear in the main part of the film, and there are also some interesting scenes in the trailers that ended up being cut. So in this video, I'm going to look at some of the fascinating deleted scenes and rejected concepts that didn't make it into the final film. Just before I start, I've got a second copy of this really beautiful hardback book, The Art of Finding Dory, to give away thanks to my friends at Abrams and Chronicle. It's packed with gorgeous concept art and information about how the movie was made, and for a chance to win, it's very simple. Just subscribe and leave a comment about the deleted scenes on this video. Of course, there are spoilers ahead, so if you want to avoid those, right here's where you'll find my non-spoiler review of the movie. When we see the adult Dory for the first time in the movie, she's talking to herself while asleep in her coral home. Still asleep, she seems like she's about to sleep swim out of her home, but bumps her head and wakes up. Well, in the very first trailer for Finding Dory, we see an alternate version of this scene where Dory also says, "Don't cry, mummy," in her sleep, and then Nemo wakes up to find Dory has gone sleep swimming. This scene, which was cut from the final movie, was actually one of the first sequences of the film that went into production, and was part of a much longer montage of Dory's sleep swimming, which had been storyboarded. In the storyboarded montage, after Marlin pulls Dory off some coral that she's stuck on, she swims off still asleep. As Dory swims, she picks up a piece of kelp, which catches and tangles up all the other fish around her as she swims through the neighbourhood. In one version, the fish police are dispatched to try and stop her, with Dory eventually ending up at the drop-off with all the neighbourhood fish tangled up behind her. Another version shows Marlin tying himself and Nemo to Dory and getting dragged out of their home when Dory starts sleep swimming, and then the kelp line connecting them gets cut accidentally by a swordfish who happens to swim by. At first, the beginning of Finding Dory was going to include all of Dory's backstory, much like the way Marlin's backstory was told at the start of Finding Nemo. Although this technique worked well in Finding Nemo to make us empathise with Marlin, after test screenings of Finding Dory at Disney, the filmmakers found that they were telling too much of Dory's past at the start of the film. Director Andrew Stanton realised that he needed to let the audience experience Dory's backstory as flashbacks, little by little throughout the film. And the flashbacks were actually also more like memory recalls for Dory, which helped us as an audience experience her story with her. You might remember Dory's line from Finding Nemo that, "I suffer from short-term memory loss, it runs in my family, at least I think it does," which Dory repeats again in this sequel. Well, the filmmakers initially planned for both of Dory's parents to also suffer from short-term memory loss in Finding Dory. In fact, Andrew Stanton and screenwriter Victoria Strauss spent nearly 2 years developing the story of Dory's parents with this condition. However, they eventually abandoned it as they found it was too frustrating to have all of Dory's family talk to each other and then keep forgetting what they'd said. In the final film, Dory's memory about her parents and home is triggered after she's knocked out after getting caught by the undertow, while listening to a group of migrating rays singing about going home as they pass by the coral. And there were also another couple of scenes about Dory's memories that were deleted. In the first, Dory and Marlin go to Nemo's parents' day at his school to retell the tale of Finding Nemo. When they leave, Dory sees a seahorse family hugging each other, and she starts to feel lonely and sad. In a second deleted scene, Dory spots 2 bluefish while playing around the coral and chases after them. After she loses them, she ends up scared and alone until Marlin and Nemo find her. The first trailer for Finding Dory also featured another alternate scene that was cut from the movie about how Dory remembered her family. That showed Dory suddenly realising she'd remembered something, then immediately getting confused and forgetting what she was talking about. The tank gang make an appearance in Finding Dory's post-credits scene, but they were originally set to appear in a number of scenes in the main part of the movie. There was going to be a section where Marlin and Nemo look for Dory in the shipping lanes after getting separated from her. That scene would have shown them escaping from a group of squid by hiding in a shipping container, where they run into the tank gang who are trapped in a water bottle that's been thrown overboard from a ship. After Marlin and Nemo help the tank gang out of the shipping container, Jack and Peach sneak onto a passing tanker, and then they figure out how to navigate to the Marine Life Institute on the Californian coast to find Dory. And there was even an alternate version of this deleted scene, where the tank gang call on a shoal of flying fish they're friends with, who help them get to California to find Dory. It's such a funny moment when we meet Hank in the movie and he starts drinking out of that coffee jug, but the animators also had a version of Hank where it looks like he was a bit of a hot sauce addict. There's some very cool concept art of Hank hiding himself in a hot sauce bottle in a similar way to when he disguised himself as a plant in his coffee jug in the final movie. Hank also had what could have been a cool scene cut around the moment where Hank and Dory are in Destiny's pool trying to figure out how to get to the open ocean exhibit. Because they don't know the way, Hank jumps out of the pool and uses a wet floor caution board to disguise himself as he retrieves a map on the ground outside, and then he brings it back for Dory to read. The comedy duo Destiny and Bailey were originally going to have different and much bigger parts in the movie. According to Kaitlin Olson, who voices Destiny, early on in the story's development, Destiny and Bailey were going to be sisters who were kind of enemies, but who'd come together by the end of the movie. Destiny was also going to be a much more neurotic and hypochondriac character, whose screenwriter Victoria Strauss has described as constantly on the verge of panic and a tremendous joy to write. There were also going to be a lot more jokes about Bailey's obsession with his head size, and Strauss has said she'd love to do a spin-off movie with the duo. Although we see Dory swimming with some dolphins at the beginning of the movie, at one point in the movie's development, there was actually going to be a group of hard of hearing dolphins at the Marine Life Institute. The idea was that the dolphins were being treated for their hearing injuries there after having worked with underwater sea mines. So would you have liked any of those deleted scenes or concepts to have been in the final movie, or is there anything else you'd like to have seen in Finding Dory, for example more of the Tank Gang? Do let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment for your chance to win this gorgeous hardback book, The Art of Finding Dory. For bonus ways to enter the giveaway, check out the Gleam link in the video description below. If you enjoyed this, you might also like my guide to all the Easter eggs and references in Finding Dory, or my video explaining the amazing deleted scenes and concepts from Disney's Zootopia, and there's links to both those videos which are in my Pixar and Disney playlists below. Thanks for watching and see you next time, yippee-ki-yay movie lovers!